Welcome to the Deep Dive, everybody, where we like to go deep into some fascinating topics that you want to learn about.
That's right.
Today, we're diving into the world of Christmas markets, and also we're going to talk about the responsibility of pet adoptions,
Especially
during the holidays.
during the holidays.
Right.
Yeah.
We've got a stack of travel articles here about affordable U.S. cities that have amazing Christmas markets, and we also have some advice pieces about how to navigate pet adoptions during the holidays.
Yeah, it's really interesting how these two topics kind of tie in together because they're both about making mindful decisions
Right.
during a season that often kind of pulls us in a million directions.
Exactly. It's easy to get caught up in all the excitement and maybe make some choices you wouldn't normally make.
Yeah, totally.
So let's start with these Christmas markets.
Okay.
You know, these twinkling wonderlands that kind of transport us to a different time and place.
hmm
But did you know that they actually originated as like...
It's pretty amazing how they've evolved from like these very, very humble beginnings
Right.
to the kind of romanticized magical experiences we see today.
Right.
Back then it was all about stocking up for the winter,
Yeah.
getting your essential goods,
Right.
crafts for the upcoming religious feasts. And now it's like a sensory feast.
Yes.
You've got the carols, you've got the
The
lights,
smells.
you've got the aroma of gingerbread and mulled wine.
Yes.
It's just a totally different vibe now.
Yeah, speaking of those smells, I remember going to the Christkin market in Chicago a few years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And just the smell of the roasted chestnuts.
Oh, yeah.
And the hot cocoa was just intoxicating. Like,
Mhm.
it was so good.
I love that market.
No, well, it might sound amazing to, like, jet set off to Europe for a Christmas market.
Right.
You can find that same festive charm a lot closer and a lot more affordably
Yeah.
right here in the United States.
Absolutely. There's a real trend right now towards budget conscious travel.
Yeah.
People want those authentic experiences.
Right.
But they don't want to pay, a fortune for them.
Exactly.
And what's more authentic than a tradition that dates back centuries?
Right. And speaking of affordable escapes, Home to Go compiled a list of the top 10 most affordable U.S. cities to visit if you're looking for Christmas market experiences.
Oh, interesting.
So instead of just listing all of the cities, let's kind of spotlight a few, maybe some hidden gems that people haven't heard of before.
Yeah, I'm always looking for new places to explore.
Yeah, so first up is Bethlehem, Pennsylvania,
Okay.
which is also known as Christmas City, USA.
Oh, wow.
Now, not only can you find accommodations there for around $175 a night, but the city itself is like a living Christmas card.
I love that.
It was founded by Moravian missionaries in 1741,
Oh, wow.
and they actually claim to have the first documented Christmas tree in the United States,
Oh, really?
all the way back in 1747.
Wow, that's something to drop at your next holiday party.
That's a fun fact.
Right.
They also have something called a live advent calendar.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
I've never heard of either.
What is that?
So every day a new window or a door is open to reveal a surprise, like a festive surprise or a performance.
Wow.
Go all out.
It sounds lovely, like you're really stepping back in time.
Yes, absolutely. And next we're going to Frankenmuth, Michigan,
Okay.
which is lovingly nicknamed Little Bavaria.
I've heard of this place.
Have you been there?
I have not, but I've heard good things.
So it's located just north of Detroit, and they really go all out for Christmas.
Oh, I bet.
So picture this: 23,000 synchronized lights, horse-drawn carriages, and of course a very lively Christmas market.
Horse-drawn carriage is so cute.
I know. Filled with unique treasures and delicious treats.
I can practically hear the clip-clop of the horses and the laughter of families, like all bundled up in their coats and hats.
It's so cozy.
Yeah.
Now let's journey over to St. Paul, Minnesota,
Okay.
which hosts a sprawling European-style Christmas market at Union Depot,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool.
Cool.
They have a carousel, a holiday train with vintage rail
A
car.
vintage holiday train. That's cool.
I know.
You could sip hot cocoa and look at the city lights.
I know. It's very romantic.
Yeah,
And then they have all kinds of vendors selling, all the goodies and everything.
of course.
And then also in St. Paul, you can't miss the Christmas lights show at Rice Park,
Okay.
where they have thousands of twinkling lights that dance to holiday music.
That sounds beautiful.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, we're going to Baltimore, Maryland,
Okay.
which is probably most famous for their Miracle on 34th Street lights in Hampton,
Oh, yeah.
where an entire neighborhood transforms into a dazzling display of lights and holiday spirit.
Sounds awesome.
And then they also have a big German Christmas market at the Inner Harbor.
Nice.
And they have everything from handmade ornaments to German pretzels.
Handmade ornaments. You had me at handmade ornaments.
And steaming mugs of mulled wine. And they have live music, too.
Wow. Sounds like you could get all your Christmas shopping done right there.
All in one place.
Yeah.
So while we're dreaming of these festive destinations and everything,
Yeah.
we have to remember that the accommodation costs are just one piece of the puzzle.
That's right. Yeah. You got to factor in all the other expenses like travel, food.
Food, especially all the treats you're going to buy at the Christmas markets.
Yep, right.
And then all the activities and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's totally.
So you have to kind of factor all that in addition to the nightly rate.
For sure.
Now, speaking of planning, let's kind of shift gears here and talk about our next deep dive, which is pet adoptions during the holidays.
Oh, yeah. A time for giving and maybe a few impulsive decisions.
You got that right.
We've all seen the, adorable image of the puppy with the big red bow, under the Christmas tree. But gifting a pet, especially as a surprise,
Right.
can sometimes lead to unintended consequences.
It doesn't always have the fairy tale ending, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
One of our sources told the story of Max Branch, whose family received a Schnauzer puppy as a surprise Christmas gift.
Oh.
And while, initially they were really excited and everything, they quickly realized that this very energetic breed wasn't the best fit for their busy lifestyle.
Yeah, you really have to think long term, right?
Right,
It's
yeah.
not just about that cute picture.
Right.
Are you
Yeah.
actually prepared to have a pet for years to come?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
So Max, who's now an animal rescue advocate, obviously learned this lesson firsthand.
of course.
And he and other experts like Roberta Westbrook and Kaylee Botting all really emphasized the importance of responsible pet adoption, especially during a time of year when things are already so hectic.
Absolutely, and it's not just about avoiding that holiday chaos. It's also about, the animals themselves.
Right.
When a pet gets returned to a shelter because it wasn't a good fit, it's sad for everyone involved.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that kind of leads us right into talking about some practical advice for people who are considering welcoming a furry friend into their homes during the holidays.
That's a great idea.
Oh,
Let's do it. Yeah. It's about making sure that the adoption is a happy experience, for both the family and the pet.
right. So what does responsible pet adoption actually look like? Well, our experts gave us some pretty great advice.
Okay.
First of all, careful planning is key.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just fall in love with the cutest puppy you see,
Right.
in the window. Do your research.
Right.
Think about the person's lifestyle, their preferences, their resources,
Like, do they have a yard? Are they active? Do they
Yeah.
have allergies? All that stuff.
all that stuff. All the things that can really make or break the situation.
It's kind of like getting a new roommate.
Exactly.
You got to make sure everyone's compatible,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But even more important, are they prepared for that long-term commitment?
Right.
It's not just about, the cuddles and the playtime.
Right.
It's about the vet visits, the training,
Right.
providing a safe and loving environment for years to come.
Exactly. I think sometimes people forget about the not so glamorous parts of pet ownership.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of surprises, if you're still set on surprising someone, consider fostering or fostering to adopt.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So this kind of gives them a chance to test the waters, see if it fits their lifestyle,
Yeah.
and really connect with the animal.
Fostering is such a great way to actually experience pet ownership firsthand.
Right.
Without having to make that long-term commitment right away.
Right.
Plus, you're helping an animal in need,
Exactly.
which is always a bonus.
And I love that idea because it takes the pressure off everyone.
Yeah, for sure.
Another suggestion our experts had is to gift pet supplies instead of an actual animal.
Oh, okay.
These things like food, toys, a bed.
Mhm.
This way the person can choose their own pet
Yeah.
at a less hectic time
Yeah, that makes sense.
and ensure a happy match for both of them.
That's a really thoughtful gift, and it kind of shows that you support their love of animals,
Right.
but you're encouraging them to, do it responsibly.
Right.
Plus, I mean, who doesn't love getting new toys, right?
I know I do.
That's the best part.
And you bring up a good point. Sometimes the anticipation of choosing a pet is half the fun.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, let's talk about a myth that purebred animals are inherently better behaved.
Oh, yeah, the purebred misconception, right?
Right.
The truth is every puppy requires training.
Yes.
Patience, commitment, regardless of their pedigree.
Right. And don't forget about all the amazing adult animals who
Yeah.
are waiting for their forever homes at
They're
shelters.
the best.
They often already have established personalities. They might already be house trained.
Yeah,
And they can transition into a new home sometimes more easily.
totally. And I think adopting an adult animal is so rewarding.
Right.
They have so much love to give, and they're so eager to please,
Right.
and they just want to be part of a family.
It's true. And I think they get overlooked a lot, which is really sad.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, but before we wrap up this deep dive into responsible pet adoptions,
Yeah.
let's kind of circle back to Max Branch. He mentioned that shelters often see an influx of returned pets in January,
Oh, yeah. It's heartbreaking.
which is just, ugh,
Yeah, it's a reminder that holiday impulses
I know.
don't always equal long-term commitment.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's all try to do our part to keep those furry friends in their loving homes.
Absolutely.
Remember Roberta Westbrook, the veterinarian who told us about gifting a puppy to her nieces?
Oh, yeah.
And while they had the best intentions,
Mm.
it ended up not being the best fit for their family. So they ended up finding the dog a wonderful home with someone else.
That's good. At least it worked out.
Yeah, it all worked out.
Yeah.
And then later, her nieces adopted an adult dog from a shelter, and it was a perfect match.
That's a great story.
So, there's hope.
Yeah.
Even during the holidays, you can responsibly adopt a pet.
Absolutely. It just comes down to thinking things through,
Right.
not making those impulsive decisions.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have,
We explored these two seemingly different topics, but
but they're kind of related.
they are.
Yeah, they both involve, being mindful during a time when we're kind of encouraged to be impulsive.
Exactly. So we found some amazing, affordable Christmas market destinations that won't break the bank.
Yes.
And we've given you some expert advice on how to navigate pet adoptions responsibly.
Right.
So now it's up to you, dear listener,
That's right. Take it away, listeners.
to apply this knowledge to your own life.
We've given you the tools. Now you got to use them.
I love that. And as we wrap up, we have one final question for you to ponder as you gear up for the holidays. So as you gear up for the holidays, and you're thinking about twinkling lights and festive markets and maybe even a furry friend,
Mm-hmm.
we want you to think about this.
Yeah.
How can you balance the magic and generosity of the holidays
Right.
with, making thoughtful and informed decisions?
Yeah.
What traditions and values matter most to you this season?
That's a really great question to kind of sit with for a minute.
Mhm.
Are you drawn to that kind of historical richness of a place like Bethlehem,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe the charm of a Bavarian village like Frankenmuth
Yeah.
is more your style?
Right.
And then when it comes to pet adoption,
Right.
are you really ready to provide a loving home for an animal in need?
Right. It all comes back to being mindful, which I know can be hard during the holidays.
It's a busy time.
Yeah, it's a busy time. There's a lot going on.
Lots of distractions.
Yeah, but maybe that's part of what makes it so special, right? Like
Mhm.
taking the time to step back, reflect on what matters,
Yeah.
and make choices that really align with your values.
I love that it's about finding that balance,
Mhm.
embracing that joy and wonder of the holidays, but also, keeping a level head when
Right.
it comes to those big decisions.
Exactly. So as you're, sipping your hot cocoa by the fire, dreaming of those Christmas markets,
yeah.
and maybe a furry companion by your side,
Ah,
just remember that, the most meaningful gifts are the ones that we give thoughtfully
that's true.
to ourselves and others.
Well said.
Until next time, happy holidays and happy exploring.
Happy holidays, everyone.